Good morning, students. Today we are going to see the topic ethics and business intelligence from the Unit 1 Business Intelligence. So, there are certain key ethical concepts uh, in business intelligence. Let us see one by one. The first one is informed consent. So, which is obtaining the explicit permission from individuals before collecting or using their data, ensuring that individuals to understand how their data will be used and shared. So that's all about the consent getting through the information. Then the data minimization, it is the process of collecting and retaining only the data that is necessary for specific business purpose, not for all the business purpose, okay, all the functional components. And it is also avoiding the collection of excessive or irrelevant data. The third one is purpose limitation, using data only for the purposes for which it was originally collected. Also preventing the repurposing or misuse of data for unintended or unauthorized purposes. The other things are data accuracy and quality. It is ensuring the data is accurate and complete and up to date, and it is implementing the process to identify and correct errors or inconsistencies in data. And the another fifth point is accountability and responsibility. It is a process of assigning the clear roles and responsibilities for managing and protecting data, also holding the individuals and organizations accountable for any breaches or misuse of data. And the final one is fairness and non-discrimination. So ensuring that BA insights and decisions do not perpetuate or amplify the biases or discrimination, and it is to designing algorithms and models that are transparent and explainable and auditable. So when it comes to data privacy and protection, it is explaining the personally identifiable information called PII. So where the data can be used to identify a specific individual like name, address, social security, SSN number, okay, and it is requiring special handling and protection to prevent unauthorized access or disclosure. Also, the data anonymization and pseudonymization, where the techniques used to remove or obscure identification information from data sets, and it is helping to protect individual privacy, which is allowing for data analysis and insights. And data encryption and secure storage also used with the algorithm support, and it is been implementing secure storage solutions through hardware based encryption or any kind of access controls. And the other two things are data retention and disposal policies and data breach response and notification. So where the data retention and disposal policies are handled with guidelines, when it should be securely deleted, all these things, and it is also ensuring the data once it is being disposed in a way prevents unauthorized access or recovery. So data breach is explaining about the plan of detecting and responding to mitigating the data breaches, also notifying the affected individuals and relevant authorities in a timely and transparent manner. So when it comes to transparency and fairness in BI, it is explaining about the algorithm transparency, where the logic and assumptions behind the BI algorithms are and model open and understandable, and it is allowing for independent audits and assessments for algorithmic fairness and accuracy. The other things are the AI should be explainable, where the BI systems can provide clear explanations for their outputs and decisions, which are generated by the BI tools insights. And the bias detection and mitigation also, it's a concern where it has to address the biases in data collection, analysis, and interpretation, which is implemented with the various techniques of fairness constraints and data balancing. Then the stakeholders engagement communication also notably an important thing, where the relevant stakeholders like employees, customers, regulations in the development and deployment BI systems. It is been communicating clearly and transparently about the purposes and limitations and potential impacts of BI. And the other things are ethical decision making frameworks, where it talks about utilitarianism. It is the process of evaluating the ethical implications of BI based on the overall consequences for all the stakeholders. It is aiming to maximize the benefits and minimize the harms for the greater number of people. And deontology, where it is used to assess the ethical implications of BI on the adherence to moral rules and duties. It is prioritizing the individual rights and autonomy over aggregate outcomes. And also about the virtue ethics, which talks about the character and intentions of decision makers, and it emphasizes the importance of integrity, honesty, and responsibility in BI practices implementation. And the stakeholder theory, it also matters when it is being affected by BI decisions, which creates a value for all the parties while minimizing the conflicts and trade-offs. Also, the ethical code and regulations guidelines, which refers the principles and standards to be very specific for the BI professionals, and it will be aligning with the BI practices with broader societal values and expectations. And the real world ethical dilemmas in BAs are the predictive policing and algorithm bias. So, another case is like targeted advertising and consumer manipulation, and the healthcare analytics and patient privacy, and social media monitoring and employee surveillance, and the environmental impact assessment and sustainability reporting. So these are the things where the real world ethical dilemmas are happening in BA, and it has to be handled in such a way with each and every unique approach. So when you see the legal and regulatory landscape, the general data protection regulations is noted is called as GDPR, where the EU regulations that sets and strict standards for the collection and use and production of personal data. Also, the California Consumer Privacy Act is CCPA, and the other acts like Health Insurance Portability and Accountability, like HIPAA, Sarbanes-Oxley Act, SOX. It's a federal law that mandates financial reporting process, and each and every standard it talks about the privacy and security over the business intelligence usage and tools. And also the final one is industry specific regulations, where the sector specific laws and guidelines that govern data practices in industries may impose additional requirements or restrictions on the use of VI in certain context. So when you see the future trends and challenges in business intelligence usage and tools in according to ethics, it should be explainable, and it should be interpretable with AI, and it should be federated learning and privacy preserving analytics support. Also, it should be responsible AI governance frameworks should be incorporated and implemented, and also it should be a continuous monitoring and auditing of BI systems with all fairness and performance security. If anything is vulnerabilities are detected, or it has to be mitigated with a proactive manner. And all above all, the ethical AI education and training is also mandatory to be implemented at the professional level or the professional development program, where the responsible AI principles are focused much better, and it is used to equip the BA practitioners with the knowledge and skills to navigate the complex ethical challenges. Uh, Fine, thank you, students. Let us see in the next class.